What do all of these price cuts on houses mean in Denver? More importantly, what does it mean for you as a buyer or seller? We will break it down in this week's video. Hey everybody, I'm Haarer, your Denver area homes and neighborhoods expert. I'm also a licensed realtor in Colorado at Sotheby's International Realty. So of course, reach out if you have any questions about buying or selling. Now, I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed over the last couple of weeks. It really inspires me to create more content, and more is on the way every single week. Do me a huge favor, provide some feedback, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below if you have any questions about today's topics or what you want to see in future videos. All right, let's get into it. What do all of these price cuts mean? We are going to get into what it means for buyers and sellers in just a bit, but first we have to understand what's really happening here. So let's start with the data. First, let's talk about inventory, or the number of homes on the market. Yes, home inventory is actually down slightly from the month previous by about 6%, but we have double the number of homes on the market that we did a year ago. Simply put, homes are just not selling like hotcakes anymore. We do not have a hyper low interest rate environment that drives buyers to the market, feverishly trying to pick up the closest thing to free money that they have ever seen. Those days are over, and so homes are going to sit a little bit longer. On average, single family homes are staying on the market for about 20 days in the Denver metro area. That is double what we saw just a year ago. With fewer buyers in the market, there are fewer bidding wars. Sellers are still adjusting their expectations in this shifted housing market, and so they are having to do price drops after about 2 to 3 weeks on the market if they have listed too high. And we're going to talk more specifically about when you should do price cuts, but really the bottom line is oftentimes many sellers have priced their homes too high based on comparables 6 months ago when buyers were knowingly overpaying for homes, paying more than market value. So because of this higher interest rate environment, because of the drop in demand, the median home price is down by about 2.5% from the previous month. But we should note that sellers are still sitting on plenty of equity. In fact, the median single-family home price is up 11% from a year ago. Double-digit appreciation, which is still extremely rare and not common over the last decade in Denver housing. Now, those double-digit appreciation numbers could turn to single digits as we head into Q4 here, and if the market continues to soften and demand stays relatively low, it could be lower than that, but still, we should end the year with very strong appreciation from a year ago. I could spend all day on the data, but I won't bore you with that nerdiness here. So please reach out if you have questions about your specific home or neighborhood or the future of the market. I'd be happy to dive into it for you. But first, let's get into what this all means for sellers and buyers. Sellers, pricing has never been more important than right now when you look at the last couple of years. We never want to list too low and leave money on the table, but listing too high in this environment will have consequences like price cuts over time, and more importantly, if you're trying to get on your way, a home sitting on the market for months and months and months on end without an offer because you have listed too high. My general advice on pricing right now is look at the peak of the market approximately 6 months ago. Find a home that is very similar to yours, see what it sold for, and reduce that price by about 5%. Why? Because we know that buyers in this market were paying roughly 5% over asking price, over market value to get into that home. So what we're really trying to do now is bring list price back down to market value. That is a rough number, that 5% under what homes sold for 6 months ago. Reach out to a realtor to get a professional price opinion, really dial in what your home is worth right now and what you should list it for. A realtor is going to be able to analyze everything that's happening in the market, specifically in your neighborhood, to determine what price is going to help you move the home the fastest and make the most money on your sale. Another note for sellers right now, make sure your realtor is doing it all. I am talking about every single piece of marketing you can do. You can no longer take iPhone photos and slap them up on the MLS. You need professional photography, videography, 3D Matterports, customized websites, potentially staging. There's so much that needs to go into making your home stand out in a home that is becoming more saturated with listings. You have to be the one that stands out. Your realtor should be helping you do that. Finally, for sellers, take a deep breath. It is okay. We are in a new environment. What we saw over the last couple of years was extremely unusual, and we are back to this normal back and forth between buyers and sellers. Homes taking a couple of weeks to sell if you've priced them properly in most price points. So just settle in. It's okay. You may not get a sale in that first weekend. And just because you don't get an offer in that first weekend doesn't mean you should do a price drop. Generally, what we are saying is wait for about 2-3 weeks and look for about a dozen to 15 showings. Then have your realtor call all the other realtors, ask them why you didn't get an offer. If they're saying price, it may be time to do a price cut to create more attention for your listing. All right, buyers. Yes, interest rates are higher. Yes, that means your monthly mortgage payment will be higher, but it is far less expensive up front to purchase the home right now than it was 6 months ago. 6 months ago, buyers were bringing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in additional cash to the closing table to give to the seller to win their offers. You no longer have to do that. Here's what I'm seeing in the market right now. Buyers are not only able to negotiate the price, especially if the home has been overpriced up front, but they're also able to do inspections and ask for repairs. And more importantly in this process, these buyers are able to take their time looking at homes that they're actually interested in, not just rushing to put an offer in on the one home they think they can actually win in a bidding war. They get to peruse, spend a couple of weeks seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 plus houses, and then make a decision about how they want to move forward with the deal. So they find the right neighborhood, they find the right house, they get into the deal, they ask for inspections, and sellers are coughing some of that up, with concessions at closing being a couple $1,000s more than they were a year ago. So what do all of these price cuts mean? It means that the market is adjusting to a new normal. Back to a back and forth between buyers and sellers. Back to sellers actually having to do a little bit of work to make their home stand out. It means that sellers have to be patient and that buyers can take their time finding the perfect home. And while they, yes, may be spending a little bit more on their monthly mortgage, they are getting what they want, generally speaking, out of the house and out of the deal during inspections. That's it for me. Thanks so much for joining. Please comment below, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to see next time.